Some of you are going to want to put the baby in your room. I personally don't think it's a good idea. Maybe you do, and you're still going to do whatever you want. But if you put the baby in your room, here's what happens. If the phone rings and it wakes up the baby, you're not going to be amused. If you sneeze and you wake up the baby, she's going to want to kill you. You're not going to be able to turn on the light. You're going to be afraid to get up to go to the bathroom at night. You're not going to be able to talk. You won't be able to put on the television. If you have that baby in your room, she's going to be on you if you disturb that baby. Because when she puts that baby down, she is saying, please sleep. Please, I pray, I beg you, sleep. Go away for a couple of hours. I need a break. I need to lie down. I need to wash my hair. I need to take a shower. I need to clean up a little bit. I need you to get off me for 2 minutes. She wants to put that baby down. And if you wake up that baby at night, she will want to kill you. Put the baby in its own room. Understand this. Mothers have 2 sets of eyes. They can see a baby anywhere. And they got 4 sets of ears. They can hear a baby anywhere. Fathers are blind and deaf. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. Mothers can hear the baby anywhere. Fathers can't hear the baby anywhere. She'll hear it. Relax. Put the baby in its own room. That room should be next to your room. It shouldn't be on another floor. Okay? Or the basement. You know, the baby goes right next to you, and you leave your door open and you leave the baby's door open, right? You don't need a monitor in there. You don't need a motion detector. The baby will be fine. Put the baby in its own room. Okay? Don't close the door. You're going to hear the baby, I promise you. And he's going to want to help you. He is. And he's got the best intentions. He's going to say, if I hear when I hear the baby at night, I'm going to go get the baby. I'll bring the baby into bed. You can breastfeed the baby. And for the first day or 2, he's going to be good. He'll hear the baby. He'll go get the baby. He'll breastfeed the baby. And he'll be good. But by about the 3rd or the 4th day, the baby's going to cry. And he'll hear the baby. But he's not going to move. He's going to pretend he's dead. And you're going to, elbow him, go get the baby. That's going to work for a day or 2, and then you're going to feel bad for him because he's got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's got to go to work. And I said the baby's 98% yours. You're going to get up, and you're going to go get the baby, and you'll either bring it back into bed and feed it, or more likely, you're going to feed the baby in the baby's room, or you're going to go to the family room, or you're going to sit down on the couch or a chair, a comfortable chair somewhere, or a rocker, whatever you've got, and you're going to feed the baby. And you're going to let him sleep. He's not going to know. That's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be for a long time. Just, it's the way things are. So you need to prepare some things, okay? A room for the baby. Plug a little night light in, okay, and leave the little night light on all the time. The baby's room should be warm enough that the baby should be able to go into the baby's crib without anything. No blanket, no duvet, no pillow, nothing goes into the crib except the baby, okay? And maybe a blanket rolled up so you got the baby on its back or on its side. You'll decide. I'm not going to tell you how you should put the baby down because everybody's got their own ideas about what's best, okay? But you don't need a mobile in there. Okay, don't put a mobile up on the crib at that point because the baby can't see it. The mobile's there for you. Put it up when the baby's 3 or 4 months old and it's starting to look around and it's interested. Now put a mobile up. Okay? Don't put books in the baby's bed, in the crib. It can't read. Come on, you don't need books in there. Don't put toys in there. It can't play with them. It doesn't need anything in there. Nothing goes in the crib except the baby. Later on, when the baby's starting to hold things and play with things, right, and it's interested, then you're going to put those things in, but not right in the beginning. And when you put the baby down, expect to find the baby in the same spot. Right? It's going to be in the same spot. These little newborns, they don't roll, they don't get up and, I'm going to walk over to the other corner. Right? They're in one spot. And they're going to stay there. Later on, the first thing the baby's going to do is it's going to roll. It's going to be able to do front to back, right? That's the first thing it's going to be able to do. And then it's just going to continue to roll, and it'll roll from one end of the crib to the other end of the crib. That's how it gets around. And later on, it'll start to pick up its head and start to pull itself with its arms, and then finally it's going to get up and it's going to start moving around, but not in the beginning. In the beginning, it's plopped in one spot.
When does he get a job?
Depends on you. It depends on how you give them a little push, you know. I mean, if you really push them hard, 11 or 12 would be good, right? Are you talking about a job or a real job? A crib. Go look for something. You know, I'm not a big fan of little bassinets. Little bassinets are good for little cats and small dogs. You know, and they look beautiful. You decorate them, you know, Laura Ashley, and you know, they're wicker and they're beautiful. But the first time that baby vomits and spits into wicker, try and clean it. Try and clean that. It looks beautiful. It's totally impractical. Put the baby in a crib. Buy a good mattress. Buy a sheet protector. Buy a mattress protector and put some fitted sheets on, and buy some sheet protectors. You got to buy sheet protectors because the baby's going to spit up all the time, and if you don't put the sheet protectors down, you're going to be washing sheets all the time. Okay? You need some blankets. You need a set of bumper guards, right? And the bumper guards will last for one baby. As soon as that baby starts to have teeth, it will eat the bumper guards. And as soon as it's able to hold things and stab, it'll stab holes. And there's only so much duct tape you can put on, right? And after that, it starts to look really tacky. So a set of bumper guards. You need diapers. Okay? You need to make a decision about diapers. You're going to buy a dozen cloth diapers. Just for serious emergencies, like it's 3 o'clock in the morning and he doesn't want to go to Max, it's snowing outside. And we completely ran out like idiots. So buy a dozen diapers. And you can always use them to put on your shoulder, okay? Put the diapers on your shoulder because you're going to use them for burping the baby. It's going to be like a towel or like a dirty t-shirt, okay? So buy a few diapers, and whatever is left over at the end, you wash the car, okay? You need some diapers. Make a decision about whether you're going to do your own, not, or you're going to get a diaper service, maybe. It's pay as you play, right? You pay for what you use, or disposables, and most people are going to get disposables. Go to Costco, buy them in bulk, buy them someplace where you buy them by the case. The last thing you want to do is have to run out at 3 o'clock in the morning and buy, something at 3 times the price. So lots of diapers, okay? You need clothes for the baby. Now listen, you're going to get gifts in the hospital, and you're going to get gifts when the baby is born. I tell everybody, your husband should send you a dozen roses, everybody else should send you cash. Okay? I'm amazed by the flowers in people's rooms. People spend hundreds of dollars on flowers. And okay, I agree, flowers are beautiful, but they're going in the garbage. Okay? Let him buy you the flowers, let everybody else give you a gift card. Okay? Cash is king. You need money. You need money, guys. Kids are expensive. You need clothes. If you've got a sister or someone from whom, or a brother or whatever, or your mom has saved some things that she's kept you for all these years and said, here, I want them out of my house now. Great. Sleepers haven't changed very much. Go look at what there is out there. There are sleepers with buttons and domes and zippers and ties and all kinds of things. Go find something. You need a dozen sleepers, and buy big. Don't buy small. Babies grow really, really quickly. Okay? So, sleepers, undershirts, diapers, crucial. Towels, face cloths, you need those things right away. You don't need fancy little dresses for the cute little girl right away. Wait a little while, get them later on. You're going to spend money, I know you will, and she'll wear it once. You'll take one picture, and then you'll hang it up, and she'll never wear it again. That's just the way it is. That's okay. Buy big. Let them grow into it, okay? You need a changing table, okay? You need a changing table. You need some cotton balls. You need a little bit of alcohol. Keep the cord, the baby's belly button clean. When we deliver the baby, we put a little cord clamp on, and then we cut it, and then it falls off in the next couple of days. It dries up and just falls off, and then you got a raw area there. Keep it clean with a little alcohol or put a little polysporin on. It will heal up really nicely, okay? Now, some people ask me, give my baby an inner, right? They want the baby's belly button to go in. Sometimes you see people with an inner, you know, most people have an inner, goes in. Some people have a flat belly button, and once in a while you see people with a belly button that comes out. They've got an outer. I don't give the baby anything, okay? It's not me that's deciding whether it's in or out. So I want to tell you now how you're going to know yourself whether your baby's going to have an inner or an outer, right? It's not so important for guys. It's important for a girl to have a nice belly button because they're always showing it, right? They're wearing pants down to here, right? Right? With the straps for, you know, I don't want to even talk about it anymore. Girls don't wear underpants anymore. They wear a little piece of cloth with dental floss holding it together. I don't get it. But okay, it's all about panty lines, I guess, whatever. Anyway, whether it's an inner or an outer, if you look at the cord when the baby's born, remember the cord and baby and placenta are all baby? Sometimes some skin from the baby's abdomen grows onto the cord. Sometimes there's none. If there's no skin on the cord, it will be an inner. If there's a little bit of skin on the cord that's grown onto the cord, it may be a bit of a flat belly button. Maybe in, it may be flat. If there's about an inch of skin that's grown onto the cord, it's going to be an outer for sure. So just look at the cord yourself, and you can see how the baby is developed. And if the skin has grown onto the cord, that belly button is going to be flat or out. And it's just as simple as that. Okay? I don't fix it. I don't make it go one way or the other. If you want to fix it later on, that's called cosmetic surgery. All right? And you'll deal with it later on. So, cord issues. Keep it clean. You need some mineral oil or some Vaseline. When you change the baby, clean the baby. Clean it up. Pay attention to your kid. Don't let them sit dirty or wet for a long time. Take a look. You wouldn't sit there in wet underpants. Don't make the kids sit there in wet underpants. Change them. They're going to pee lots of times in a day. Okay? Lots. And if you've got a baby that's being breastfed, they're going to poop maybe every single time they eat. Right? Every time that baby's smiling at you, don't think it's smiling, it's pooping. Smile. Pay attention. Keep them clean. Don't be embarrassed when you go to the pediatrician. Don't let your mother look at the baby and say, "You're killing my grandchild." Keep them clean. Wash them off, dry them, put a little bit of mineral oil on, keep them lubricated. Pay attention. Okay? You need a little bath for the baby. You can't bath the baby in the kitchen sink with the vegetable sprayer. That's not how to do it. You can't take the baby to the big bathtub and bath the baby in the big bathtub. That's later on, when the baby's sitting up and they're a little older, and then you get into the bathtub with a rubber ducky and you play with the kid. Absolutely and totally normal, but not for a newborn. Get a little bath. And when you bath the baby, don't fill the bath in the bathroom and bring it to the baby's room. You're going to drop it one day, and there'll be water all over the broadloom or all over the floor. And second, as soon as you put the baby in the bath, what does it do? It splashes. There's going to be water all over the place. And on top of that, as soon as you take a boy's diaper off, what does he do? He pees on you. So, you know, like when you take his diaper off, cover him up. Because he's going to pee on you for sure. And you get it right in the face. You'll deserve it. It'll happen for sure. So you need a little bath. You're going to wash the baby's clothes and face cloths and towels separately from yours. So, you know, you need a hamper for all the baby stuff. And you're going to be changing the baby frequently. No baby goes through a whole day without a change of clothes. That's like not possible. All right? That's not possible. We talked about diapers. We talked about all the things that you need for the baby's room. What else do we need?
I've got a question about feeding the baby and
Yes.
letting the baby cry itself to sleep.
Yes?
If you try to get the baby into a schedule by ignoring it during inconvenient times like night, are you then now malnourishing your baby? Or
Let me tell you something right now about schedules.
okay.
forget about them.
All right.
There is no such thing as a schedule. Don't even think about a routine for a baby. Babies breastfeed on demand. Are you planning to breastfeed? The baby's going to breastfeed on demand. And listen to me. You're going to get into a routine with this baby. In the beginning, the baby's going to be on you constantly. It takes about a month before you and the baby are totally comfortable together. Okay? About a month. I want that baby not to get any formula. I want the baby on the breast all the time, because I want that baby to bond with you, to understand who you are. And the baby recognizes you by taste and by touch and by smell and by sound. It doesn't look at you and say, "Mom, that's what you look like." No. Maybe later, but not in the beginning. Okay? That baby needs to know your taste and your feel. I don't want the baby to know anything about a nipple for a while. Okay? About a plastic nipple till later on. And you got to understand that babies are smart. When you put the baby on the breast, it has to work. It's got to suck hard to get milk. You give the baby a bottle, it's easy. It comes flying out. And babies are not stupid. They'll recognize the difference, and they'll understand the difference between easy and hard really quickly, and they'll spit you out. I don't want you, I want easy. Don't do that. Do not confuse the baby. All right? I want the baby to prefer you, to understand you. And there's a downside to this too. And my daughter is, who's breastfeeding, has got the other side of it. This baby is so fixated on her that when we try to give her a bottle, she doesn't want the bottle. She wants mama. But she's getting a little older now. She's almost 3 months, and now she's getting smart. And she'll take the milk that she's pumped from the bottle as well. But boy, oh boy, it's been a struggle. She's really fixated on mummy. Okay? So, there are all these things that you need to prepare for. You're going to go out. You need a stroller. Go look. I mean, you can spend $1 zillion, right? You can get something for $200. You can get something for $1,200 also. So take a good look around at what's out there and decide what your comfort level is, and how much money you've gotten from your parents. All right? Take a good look around. You need a car seat. It's the law. Okay? Put it in properly. If you don't know how to put it in and you can't put it in, there are places that will install it. But you have to have a car seat. Okay? You got to have a car seat. Comes out, it's got a carrier, right? You're going to need a stroller. You're going to get one of those things too. Those things I think you need to start with. You don't need these little umbrella strollers in the beginning. You need a proper stroller. Okay? So whatever you spend, you're going to spend. It's winter. You're going to need things to wrap the baby up. You're going to need blankets and little snowsuits and things like that. And you're going to start doing things with the baby, right? You're going to start doing things. And it's going to be whatever your comfort level is as to when you want to start doing these things. I mean, there are little music classes, and those are more social gatherings for the mothers, right? Who are in baby mode, right? They got baby brain right now. And so it's for mothers to get together. And then there are swim classes. My daughter's baby is just not quite 3 months, and she had her first episode underwater the other day. Okay? So Jillian had it videoed. She teaches, my second daughter, that some of you know, works at the Hugh Macmillan Center. And she works with children with disabilities. And she's fabulous. She runs the therapeutic swim program there. And she works with these children who have spina bifida and Down syndrome and cerebral palsy. And she teaches these children to swim. And she's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. These kids who, can't do anything on land all of a sudden get into water. And it's amazing what she does with them. Just absolutely amazing. And she teaches swimming as well. But she took the baby in to the pool the other day and, dunked her under for the first time. And we got the video, and it's just great. So you're going to teach your children to swim. It's one of the most important things that you're going to do. Everybody in this room can swim? Yes? Anybody can't? This is Canada. There is water everywhere in this country. Your child has to learn how to swim. There are at least 2 things in this country that your child has to do. Number 1, play hockey.
Yes, boy or girl.
Boy or girl, makes no difference. Nah, you don't have to play hockey. They got to skate, right? They got to have a hockey stick. Play hockey, and 2, swim. They have to swim. There are pools everywhere, and there's water everywhere, and it's the most incredible tragedy to hear about some child who, fell into a backyard pool and drowned. You get your child to swim. If you can't teach them, you will take them somewhere and get them into a class and teach your child to swim. Every child has to learn how to swim. Agreed? Yeah. Yeah. You're going to get your children into programs, all kinds of things. And there's nothing that boys or girls can't do. Boys play soccer, girls play soccer, hockey, baseball. Less girls play football. And not so big on that. But dance is huge. And you got your little girl and she's going to go to ballet, and you know what? You could take your little boy to dance also. Although, you think, I don't want my baby to my son to go to ballet. But you want to know something? Let me teach you something now. A boy who can dance never has trouble picking up girls.
That's right.
Most guys can't dance to save their life. They are crappy dancers. And girls are always looking for a guy who can dance. And if you teach your son and let him learn how to dance, he will never have trouble picking up chicks. Okay? Let him learn how to dance. He doesn't have to he doesn't have to go into ballet. But you know what? It won't hurt a bit. Okay? There's lots that he can learn about culture and grace and style from dance. Okay? Let him learn. You need to make decisions about school. And you're going to obviously go back to work. Not all of you, but most of you are going to go back to work. You're going to need to make decisions about who's looking after baby, right? About daycare. You need to apply to these things really early. I understand. Really early to get in. I mean, if you can't convince your mom, or someone, or your mother-in-law to look after the baby, and some of you will be lucky, and your mom's going to look after the baby, it will save you at least $1,000 a month, right? At least $1,000 a month. That's a pretty good mom. If not, you're going to have to look into daycare. You're going to look into schools. Some of you will go to the public system. Some of them are going to go to the parochial systems, whether religious schools or Catholic school or whatever. And some of you will go to private school. Get ready. Private schools are phenomenally expensive. Are they better? In some ways, yes. As much for the mix as for the programs. Some of the programs are absolutely exceptional. All of my children started out in private school. Not all of them finished. Okay? 2 of them went to middle school, and then I pulled them out because they just weren't doing well, and went into public school and did just fine. But my first and my last went to private school and did terrific. My son found first-year university easier than last year high school. Okay? So they're, if these are gifted children and they're exceptional, and you've got the money, do it. Give them a little push. You'll make that decision. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But pay attention to your children. Those children that you allow that grow up on the street get into trouble. Do not allow the street to raise your child. Pay attention to school. Pay attention to their friends. Pay attention to where they're going. Get them into sports programs. Keep your child busy. Those children that are playing sports and are in constructive and regulated programs tend to stay out of trouble. They tend to stay out of trouble. I want you to get your child to the point where the child has grown up, has got an education, has not stolen a car, and is not doing drugs. Okay? So let me teach you something. They're all going to drink. They're all going to go to bars, because it's the culture today. My son's got the right idea. He says that, you shouldn't get your driver's license at 16 and go to a bar at 19. Right? You should be allowed to drink at 16, but not get your license till 19. At least learn to drink before you learn to drive. Don't let your children smoke. If you smoke, stop. Please. Smoking is bad for you. It's bad for your baby. It's bad for your wife. It's bad for everybody. And your child will see you smoking and will know that it's okay to smoke. Don't smoke. Don't let them get into drugs. Getting into drugs is getting into trouble. Pay attention to your children is really, really, really important. And pay attention in school. Okay? Go to their meetings, make sure they're doing their homework, stay on top of them all the time. I used to say that it's important to get your child to go to university. It's less important now. Is it a good thing to go to university? Yes. Are there good community college programs? Yes. Are there good trades? Yes. Is there anything wrong with your son becoming a plumber or an electrician? No. Let him get a trade. You know, the union will protect him, he'll make a living, they'll do just fine. But if he could go to university and become a plumber, you got a plumber who can read Shakespeare. Wow! Get an education. Not everybody's going to become a professional. If they have that talent, encourage them and spend the money and save the money. Listen, when I went to university for the first time in 1965, my first year university, okay, I was in a course called Biological and Medical Sciences. The first year university was $454. I had a $400 scholarship. Cost me $50 in books. I lived at home. Okay? I lived at home. Today, first year university is at least $6,000 for 5 credits, and that's not including books and traveling and clothes and this and that. So figure $8,000, $9,000 if your child is living at home, if they don't have a scholarship. Okay? And not all of them are going to get scholarships. So $8,000 or $9,000. If they're going to go out of town, you're probably looking at $25,000 a year. If you're going to the States, you're looking at $50,000 or more, depending on where. Okay? First year medical school for me in 1969 was $710. First year medical school today, I think, is close to $20,000. Okay? So professional school is pretty expensive now. Graduate school is expensive. Be prepared. The year that I sent 2 of my children away to do their master's degrees, I had one at the University of Virginia. I had one at Trinity College in Dublin. Okay? Daddy had 3 houses that year because I was paying for my daughter's apartment in Virginia, my son's apartment in Dublin, and that was the year that the Canadian dollar was 63 cents. Okay? That year, with traveling and food and this and that and whatever for the 2 children, was $120,000. So get ready. Okay? Children are expensive. Everything costs. You're not going to want to buy them cheap stuff. You're going to, you know, if you wear nice clothes, you're going to want them to wear nice clothes. And they're going to look at running shoes, and, you know, running shoes can easily be $150, $200 now, right? And they're not going to wear little shoes like this for long. They grow really quickly. Get ready. I'm tired. It's your turn. Questions? Yes?
What do you think about midwives and doulas?
Let me talk about doulas first. The ones that I've seen in the hospital, a doula is a birth attendant, a coach. The ones that I've seen are great. They're great. I simply don't have a bad thing to say about them. Having said that, I've only met a few. We have some volunteers in our labor room. They don't come every day, who are birth coaches and assistants. Some of them are pretty good. But the doulas that I've seen come in, and I'll give you an example. The situation where I see it most commonly is when I have religious Jewish women come in. Okay? And I have a small, relatively small practice of Orthodox Jews, and they'll very often bring a doula with. And the ones that I've seen are absolutely terrific. So do I think they're useful? Yes. Do I have any experience with midwives? None. Okay? Midwives are a relatively new thing to Ontario. They don't do a lot of experience. Some of them they don't do a lot of deliveries. Some of them have a lot of experience, some of them don't. And I really can't tell you very much. I have no personal experience in working with midwives because at this site, we don't have any. At the church site, they do have midwives now. It's a relatively new thing. But I personally don't have any experience with them. So I can't really answer it. Are some of them good? I'm sure some of them are. But I can't tell you anything more than that. No midwife is an obstetrician. Okay? Can they do a good, straightforward, uncomplicated vaginal delivery? I'm sure they can. Can they do complicated stuff? They have to refer it. And if they don't, they're taking unnecessary risks. Okay? So
with doulas, how does it work?
You have to hire them.
And do they only come for your delivery, or?
They will spend the whole time with you. They'll spend the whole labor with you. I won't. The question that everybody asks is, when do I come to the hospital? And the answer is, it depends on what's going on. If I'm in the office, I'll be back and forth. If you come in at night, they're going to call me for the delivery. They'll call me if there's a problem, and in that case, I'm here. But if it's uncomplicated and everything is straightforward, I'm coming for the delivery. The doula will be with you for the whole time. You're paying her, though.
Do you know
Right?
approximately how much?
You know what? I think they get more than I do. Okay? Do you want to know what I get for a normal delivery? Straightforward, uncomplicated, $454. That's before taxes. An uncomplicated vaginal delivery is $454. Can a doula cost you more than $1,000? Possibly. What does she do for you? She holds your hand. And she coaches you. Can she be useful? Is that worth it? I can't answer that question for you. If you're having an epidural, is she going to help you a lot? No. If you're going natural, could she help you a lot? Yes, I think she could. Is it worth the money? That's your money. I don't know. I can't answer it any better than that. The experience that I have with the doulas that I've seen has been universally good. Okay? It's been universally good. I haven't met one that I wanted to throw out of the room. Okay? These are experienced women who know what they're doing and have been doing this for a while, and they're not rookies. So, and they're dealing with a specific clientele. They're dealing with a specific clientele. So, you were going to ask me a question. No? Somebody else? Yes.
What are your thoughts on circumcision?
Good question. I'm sorry I didn't discuss it. Thank you. Circumcision. Some of you are going to have a little boy. Half of you. Circumcision is a little procedure where we take off the skin around the head of the penis. Here's my attitude towards it. And here are my thoughts about it. I'm glad you asked, because I forgot. If daddy is circumcised, circumcise the baby. Little boys should look like their father. One day, you're going to go into the bathroom, and you're going to teach him how to pee. You're going to take a piece of toilet paper, put the seat up, put the toilet paper in the water, and say, hit the paper. Right? Sink the piece of paper. Pee on that piece of paper. Aim for the paper. Instead of like this. He's still doing it now. He's got this great big seat. He still can't get it in the water. He still misses all of a sudden off to that side, right? Or he hits the edge. He's got to take toilet paper up and clean it out afterwards, right? He's going to look at you and say, we don't look the same. And you're going to say, relax, it'll grow. But he's going to look over and you're not going to be the same. If you're circumcised, circ the baby. If you're not circumcised, don't circ the baby, unless you want to start something up in your family. But let me tell you a little bit about circumcision. Here are the statistics. Women who have sex with men, a man or men who are circumcised, have at least 10 or 20 times lower incidence of cancer of the cervix than women who have sex with men who are not circumcised. Cancer of the cervix is a venereal disease. Children don't get it. Nuns don't get it. Most nuns don't get it. Okay? It's a disease of sexually active women. It is much more common in women who have sex with men that are not circumcised. So the men are obviously carrying something, a virus, human papillomavirus probably, that they're transmitting. If you're circumcised, it is so much easier to stay clean. You carry so much less. You have a lower risk of HPV, you have a lower risk of herpes, you have a lower risk of everything. And now they're talking in Africa because of AIDS, because of HIV. There is a lower incidence of HIV in men who are not circumcised, in men who are circumcised, because they can stay clean. They want to circumcise all of Africa. It's not doable. They want to circumcise millions of men in Africa to reduce the incidence of HIV. It's not a doable thing. If you're going to have a circumcision, you do it right away. In a baby, it is a trivial procedure. I was going to say a nothing procedure. There's no such thing as nothing. Okay? There are always small risks. But the risks of a newborn circumcision are exceptionally small. Do it right away. If you're going to do it, you do it in the first week. There are no stitches, no anesthetic, very little bleeding. It heals up really, really quickly. If you do it later, a month, 2 months, 3 months, general anesthetic, you got to put the baby to sleep, stitches, it's a much bigger deal. And later on, if you have it done as an adult, it is a huge deal. And everybody knows somebody who had to have a circumcision at 20 or older. Once in a while, they bring guys into the emergency department, you know, in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, he had sex, he pulled the skin back, and now he can't get it to go back the other way, and it's swelling, it's turning purple. He needs to have an emergency circumcision or he's going to lose his penis. Not something you want to get into. So if you're going to do it, my advice is do it right away. If it's for cultural reasons or religious reasons, it's a no-brainer. But if you had to have it done yourself at age 15, save your kid the trouble and just get it done. If you had to have it done later on, do your son a favor and have it done right away. Okay? This is something you should think about right away. Don't go home, you know, we're still thinking about it. What are you thinking about? Just either do it or don't do it.
Do you perform it?
Yeah, I'll do a circ for you. How many have I done? Thousands. I'm probably the only obstetrician who does them. I started doing them in 1973 when I started my residency training. And at that time, it was a junk job for the junior resident at the Toronto Western Hospital. There was a private practice and there was a public practice. And we circed all the public babies. And it was the junior resident's job. They said, here, I'm going to teach you how to do it. And boom, you do it. And I got good at it. And then when I went to women's college as resident, the pediatricians didn't want to do them. So I did all the private babies too. And then when I went into practice, I offered as a service for my patients. So I've been doing them since I started, since I started my training. And over that time, I've done, I think, thousands now. Many.
Covered by OHIP?
Is it covered by OHIP? No. How much is it? It's $150. Okay? Just get it done. Get it done. If you're thinking about doing it, then don't think twice. Just do it. You're never going to regret it. You know, I've never met somebody who's looked at it afterwards and said, you know, I want my skin back. Never seen anybody. Never.
How does it work? Like if you do the circumcision right after the birth?
We don't do it right after the birth.
Oh.
Go home. Go home. I'll do it, 3, 4, 5 days later, a week later. Don't come to me more than 10 days later. If you're going to do it, you do it first 10 days. Get it over with.
Why can't you do it right away?
Give them a chance. Let them pee a couple of times. Let them try it out first. You know, I don't do anything right away. Right? We're not going to do it on day 2. All right, could we do it on day 2? Yes, we could. Do I? No. I want to wait 3, 4, 5 days. Okay? Come back a couple of days later, we'll do it. We're not going to do it on day 2.
Performed in the clinic or at the hospital?
In the office. I just do them in the office. Okay? It's really, really simple. The whole thing takes a few minutes. Okay? From start to finish.
I've seen them done, yes.
It's a pretty trivial procedure. Okay? I don't want to trivialize it and say, nothing can ever happen. Once in a while there's bleeding, once in a while there are problems, but almost never. Almost never. Okay? So if you're thinking about it, now's the time, to have a talk. If we're having a boy, we're going to do this. If you're not having a boy, then there's nothing to talk about. Okay? Thank you for asking. You had enough? I think so. It's good.